New York City, right now as we speak, has the worst air quality in the whole world. As much as I love Dwayne Wade, as much as I love Gabrielle Union, to be honest, I wish they both would just take care of their family, take care of their business, and shut the fuck up.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing out there this evening? Welcome to another live edition of Real Talk for Real Men. Of course, I'm your host, Lee Black. Good to see everybody. And every time I hear my own greeting, I get excited. But at the same time, it's way too short. So I keep promising that I'm going to have that extended because I like the music. And just when I start popping my fingers and feeling it, it goes off. But the sentiment is even more appropriate. When I even created it, or had it created for me, that this is real talk, folks. This is where you're going to hear live opinions. It's going to be real. It's going to be raw. And so, if this is your first time, come in and take us with a little bit of grain of salt. Just know that it's all love, it's all opinions, and every opinion is welcome. So, as your host, I want to be able to welcome you guys in that on Wednesdays, we tend to have a little bit more serious conversation, and tonight is no exception. So, this was a show that was planned and had to be put on hold, and I'm doubling back down on it because I think it's going to be interesting. So, let me bring in my co host. This is Tasha from Memphis. And I popped her in and popped her out. What's going on, McMax? As soon as she's able to connect, hopefully. We got some winter brewing, so I don't know if it's internet technology.
All
There she
right.
is. What's going on, McMac?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I think it was my phone trying to connect and disconnect from like the internet. So,
That's what's
you
up.
know,
That's what's up. Well, how are you doing tonight?
I can't complain. It's Wednesday. So there's that.
There is that. We always say here at Real Talk that we know we got this week beat when we finish this show because we're on the other side of hump day. So I see I already got Miss Carol in the house. How you doing, Miss Carol? How you doing, sweetheart? Thanks for joining us. And so I've sent the invites to the other family. So we'll see who might join us. We'll give it about 2 minutes. And then if not, you guys are going to be invited into a conversation between me and Tasha. And we've been doing this whether we have a show or not. You're going to be privileged to just the shit that we talk about, and we'll have some fun. And Miss Carolyn says, "Hey, Tasha."
Hi.
And Lady D is checking us out. What's going on, Lady D? Miss Devin, the superstar from TFG Tonight with Brenton Haynes. And just so you know, Miss D, this show is an extension of a conversation that was born out of our conversation on the Black Love series on the show. So it ought to be interesting. I can't wait to hear your opinions if you want to share them. That's going to be fantastic. So even while we wait to see if any other family members are going to join us, without keeping you guys into any kind of suspense, I want to just kind of told you, I gave you a little heads up last week, Saturday, I should say, and I wasn't kidding. I wanted to share with you guys. We are going to be talking about. Let's talk about sex, baby. This is what we're going to talk about. But in this case, we're going to be talking about reasons that men are bad in bed. Reasons men are bad in bed. And that's Mr. TFG himself, the real estate insider. And in case you don't know, and I didn't say at the top of the show, Real Talk is a part of TFG platform of shows. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube under TFG Uncut, TFG Ratchet. And of course, you can look under YouTube and Facebook and look for Real Talk for Real Men. We definitely invite you to continue to subscribe. Ms. Devin say, let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm going to literally give 1 minute, Tasha. Then we're going to dive into this. And so I hope to hear some opinions. But as I'm telling you about this, on Monday's show on the Black Love, we have different topics. And Brenton brings up this. He has a series called the Black Love series. And he asked the question about who needs it more, who needs who more, I should say, men or women. And of course, we gave our opinions, but we couldn't really get meaty into it. But this topic was actually before that. So much is happening on social media, folks, about men and women and where you can take somebody on a date and where you can't, and this, that, and the other. I wanted to address something that we don't often talk about. We as men, we can be some arrogant sons of bitches. We like to think that we're knocking it out the park all the time, but that just may not be true. And in case you haven't noticed, when Father Winter has reared his head. It's getting cold, folks. You know, so we are. If it wasn't before, we getting ready to truly be in cuddle season, snuggle season, hobo sick, whatever you want to call it, folks. It's getting ready to get cold out there. And me and Tasha was talking about the fact that when that temperature starts dropping, motherfuckers start staying inside. But now, if you're gonna stay inside, a lot goes on. Lot of babies are conceived, during these winter months. So we're gonna talk
great
about this
sweatpants
stuff.
season. That's what it is.
For those that don't know, Tasha, explain what gray sweatpants season is all about.
Oh no, everybody knows a great sweatpants. It's scouting season for women. That's what that is.
I did not know that.
And we judging hard.
You know what? As a man, I didn't even realize that was a thing until years ago, and you brought it to my attention. And I had never thought about that. You get to this time of year where it's cool, and you go out in your sweatpants, and I guess people are watching to see how it's hanging. So oh wow, that's very interesting. But we're gonna jump into it. So we're gonna talk about some of the reasons why men are bad in bed. And I hate that I don't have more representation tonight. Devin said that's what that great pants season is all about. Mr. Real Estate says, I just bought a pair. Damn. So y'all gonna make me subconscious because that I wear it to the store all the time, But anyway, we're gonna talk about this, and again, it's gonna be open and honest. But before I get into some reasons why. Overall, Tasha, and again, I don't have the family. I don't have Brother Kenny. I don't have the posters. I don't have my sister. And in case you may know, behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with. So, we're going to do what we do to keep chugging this train along. But overall, I want to ask this question. And I wish I had the family to ask, but I definitely want to get the real estate insider's view and Devin's view and Miss Carol's view. Overall, I got to ask this question, Tasha. Do you think men have gotten better or worse in bed?
Overall?
And over time.
In my experience?
Yeah, and your experience. Do you think, because think about it from this standpoint, porn is everywhere. There was a time when you had to really look hard to, in my era, porn you found in magazines, It wasn't a thing. So as young men, we had to hide a magazine under the mattress and things like that, but now in our palm of our hands. But, when you look at the porn industry and what it's done, I wonder, has it improved or made things work? When you look at the exaggerating theatrics and how they portray sex, but now it's so readily available. So education-wise, and I had this conversation with my niece where she talked about that TikTok generation, and they're more educated than we are. What do you Devin says that she think men have gotten better. Very interesting. Very interesting. What do you think, Miss Carolyn? And then I'm gonna give my opinion. Do I think over now again, I can't judge every man, but I'm just going on generalities. Do you think men have gotten better over time?
I think sex has become less inhibited. And so, yes, I would say where there's not as many hangups, where there's less and less that men and women are saying that they wouldn't do in the bedroom. I think the lists are getting smaller. So I would have to agree with Devin. I do think that it's gotten better, but the availability of good sex is is a point I would bring up, because I don't know if it's just the availability. I don't know if there's enough good dick just out there and available. That's the whole thing.
Very interesting point. Very interesting point. Yeah, you make a really good point. We've become less inhibited. And I got to appeal to your experience with both white and black. Do you find that black men have become equal in terms of being less inhibited in the bed as white men? Because you tell us. Do you think so?
I would definitely say so. Because there was even a time where black men would say that they don't even eat pussy.
Right, right.
They eat pussy. There's some that used to say that they would never lick toes, eat ass. They do that. So, and I would just stop right there because I don't need y'all in my bedroom like that.
Right. The real estate insider says that he think men have gotten better. We listen more now and give a damn about satisfying. It used to be a vote for women. They weren't considered in the satisfaction part.
Nah, I
Very
would challenge that on the satisfaction part. I would challenge that.
really. How so?
Because I still, where there's a percentage of men, there's a larger percentage of men that are about satisfying women. There's still a very, very large number of you selfish motherfuckers who you don't care if the woman gets off or not. It's not about
Oh.
pleasuring the woman. It's literally about you getting yours. There's still a large number of men out there like that.
We're gonna tackle that in just a few moments. That's literally on the list. Hello, Stacy. Stacy, welcome to the show. How you doing? And in case you don't know, the topic is reasons men are bad in bed. Miss Devon says women are no longer willing to just be a mattress and faking it. We speak up and expect results. I
Mm-hmm.
like that, and I agree with you, Sister D. Absolutely. Now, this is what this show is going to be about, men. How are we responding to being told, because now women aren't faking it and they are more vocal, because I can speak to a time when we had to figure it out. So where she talked about being a mattress, there was a time when, especially with Black women, I'm going on my experience now, especially with Black women, there was a time when we had to do a whole lot of figuring it out, because either one, they didn't know their own bodies as well as they should have, or two, they just wasn't as comfortable verbalizing what they liked and what they didn't. And I agree with Sister D that now that's certainly not the case. That is certainly not the case, that now they're being, they speak up from the gate. Real estate insights, they want orgasms now.
With an S.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. That's a tall order. Miss Carol says, I agree. Men have become better. They seem more caring about their partner's satisfaction. Okay. So that gets us off to a good start, but right where we wanted to go. So let's jump right into some of the reasons why men are bad in bed. And that very first one was being selfish. So I want to kind of comment as we go through this, whether we believe this is true or not, and reasons why maybe this is even a thing. So I got a question to ask, especially I have some of my female viewers on here. Is it that, Tasha, you said that the availability of good dick, and there's still a great deal of portion of men out there that don't care how. Do you think you can say this, that men maybe are that way because both parties are selfish now?
I don't know. I don't know if it's even that. I don't think women are as selfish when it comes to I don't when it comes to sex. I don't think that we're selfish. By majority, I just don't think that women just are like that. Only because it takes us a lot longer for some women to get fully like into it, to
Okay.
get fully into sex. And for some men, because of their attention span, sometimes it's not, they're just ready just for it to be over and done with in a shorter amount of time. It's not always about the appreciation of just, just really truly just like being in there with that woman, especially when you have the hookup culture that is very heavily pushed. It's not, I think a lot of it is about like doing numbers. So for the men.
And I guess again, I truly expect to learn a lot here, because again, I'm getting to hear your opinion and some of the ladies, and I really do. And again, I have no way of knowing, because believe it or not, I don't have the kind of friendships or relationships with men that we actually talk about sex. In my younger years, we kind of did that, but where I'm at this place now, and maybe I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we don't ever really talk about sex per se. But do you know what? When you said that about the hookup culture, I find that my own experience, I find it's the women that are just as selfish from my own personal experience because of what you just said. The numbers now that are being done, it's not men putting the notches on the bedpost now, it's women. And me and my me and my male friends and associates, we have talked about this. There used to be a time when if you thought you laid some good dick or whatever, or even if you kind of know you did a good job, there was a reasonable expectation that you'd get that call back. Over the years, I found that a lot of women are like, I want to try him and him and him, and I've had you. Now I don't need you again. Yeah, it was good, but I'm looking for something else. Whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, I find a lot of women have become selfish in their pursuit of stacking numbers. Now that doesn't exclude that men are selfish in bed. So if I'm going to be honest with myself, I was far more selfish in bed when I was younger. The younger me. I'm going to be full disclosure here. I really didn't most of the time think about whether she was going to get hers out of it. It really was all about me. Now, as I aged and matured, it did become more of an important thing, a consideration thing to think about. Man, I hope she's enjoying it too. But yeah, do you think that comes with age?
Definitely. Definitely comes with age.
Okay, for sure. So that's good to hear. So my brothers out there, for you young brothers, maybe that's something you can look at. Carolyn says women used to feel like they were just there to satisfy a man's needs. I agree 1,000%, and that's definitely not the sentiment now. Devin says, I think it's much easier for a man to finish. As a result, we have to be a little selfish to enjoy the experience the same. You know what? That's a good way to look at it. That's a really, really good way to look at it. Devin, that's a really, really good way to look at it. That in that sense, and I've said this before, the word selfish sometimes gets a bad connotation, but I like how you put that. You almost have to be selfish in some ways if you're going to get something out of it than to just have somebody being with you and you're not getting anything out of it. I like that. I really like that. Great point, Devin. Great point. But fellas, remember that selfishness, that is one that we definitely, I think, goes away the older we get. I hope. Oh, this one is real, folks. This one is real right here. One of the things that makes a man bad in bed is premature ejaculations.
Quick draw McGraw. Yes.
Okay. And I've always wanted to ask this, because the men who are watching, there are legitimate reasons why you might come quick. It's not always just that that's your norm. So I wanted to ask women, I want to ask ladies, okay, is it not a compliment to you if a man comes quick?
No. To me,
help me out. Help me out.
Okay.
Are you telling me that someone in their haste and their attraction to you could start and not last as long as you think they should because they enjoy the experience, everything about it, and so that's not a compliment to you? Oh my God, Miss Carolyn says not at all. Explain, please.
Only because I see it, to me, the way I see it is this. I get being caught up in the moment. I get that. However, caught up in the moment, 30 seconds, and no exaggeration, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, that is a complete and waste of time. And to me, and this is only my opinion, it signifies to me in a way that you have no self-control. Like damn, like you just couldn't wait. Like that the only thing you were thinking about like the whole time. That's how I look at it. I don't think it's not a compliment, and it's and honestly, like you try not to judge, you try not to have like these quick, like immediate reactions to it. But I'll say this, if it's happening multiple times like with that person, it's like okay now, like what the like what the fuck is wrong with you? At that point it's like what's wrong with you?
Okay, you know what? So I would agree with that part of it, that if that's the norm. And when you said 30 seconds, I have no idea now. You're being serious.
I'm being dead serious.
Because that part, again, thank God, knock on all the wood around this motherfucker, that I ain't never came in on 30 seconds, or 5 minutes. Thank God, that hadn't been my experience. But the reason why I was saying that, I guess when I'm thinking of premature ejaculation, look, and men, please speak up. And I see the real estate insiders. I want to, or is it just me? There are some times when, if I've refrained from sex for a long period of time, and I'm talking a month, 6 weeks, or some shit like that, and we're gonna talk raw and honest, family, and that nut is right there. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go a long time now. That second go round. Yeah, but if that nut is right there on the surface, it's just not going to last long. And it could be from head or sex or whatever. And so you're going to have to forgive some shit, right? Am I wrong?
No, forgive some shit. Yeah, if it's okay, I kind of forgive it if it starts with head. But you're assuming because for you everything starts with head. For some men it doesn't.
Okay.
It's literally just like, okay, like look, I barely even touched you. What is wrong with you?
Okay, okay, so I'm unfamiliar with that. And again, I've been inside some pretty nice holes, some pretty bad ones too. But even the
Wow.
pretty nice homes that I've been in, it lasted longer than that. Devin says it depends. If I'm simply hooking you up, you on a timer. Hell, I'm tired. Ooh.
Wait a minute, Devin, what's the timer? Like, what's the timer that you give somebody?
Devin, I want to know that too, because I don't know how to take that. I really don't know how to take that. And I'm going to tell you what, Devin, what vision that's giving me. Do you know, in all the years when I used to go to a shake joint, one of the reasons why I never really did the whole backroom kind of thing is because I don't want to be on a timer. So I definitely want to know what you mean by the timer part, because I can't stand being rushed. I don't mind a quickie in a hookup, but I don't want the timer to be on me. Oh, I got to know what you mean by that. And so even when I used to kick it with my stripper friends, they would always come to the house afterwards, because I can't get my shit off in 2 songs. You know what I'm saying? And so that wasn't never gonna work for me. Miss Stacy,
okay.
Go ahead, Tasha.
No, because I have another question about the timer, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Miss Stacy says it's a disappointment, and yes, Tasha, a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, please save us. Real Estate Inside says, I couldn't finish in 5 minutes if you offered me $1 million. I wish I could, though. Ooh, now that he makes a good point. Ooh, Bill said it. You make a good point. There are times when I have wished I could get this over with, because contrary to popular belief, there's a lot of slow pussy out there too. Not all pussy is good pussy. And some of them you wish you could come, and sometimes they're a little too dry. Some of them are a little past tart, more on the musty side. There's all kinds of reasons why you want to actually hurry up and finish, but you can't. But okay, Tasha, go ahead.
No,
I'll just
stay on topic, okay? We ain't talking about pussy. We talking about dick, okay?
Okay, you're right. You're right. Bring it back.
But
I was just commenting on the fact that he wish he could come quicker, and I do too. But okay.
But my question is, like for the men, for you and Lamar. So for you guys, is there because we spoke about selfishness and everything, and because Devin brought up the instance of timer, is there a timer? Because we hear all of these times that people put out there for at least the minimum amount of time that sex should be, and even Tremaine to this being for like premature ejaculations. 0 to 5 minutes, that's way too fast. Is there a time that you as men think is an adequate amount of time that's not asking for too much, that you believe should be the standard that sex should at least be, even if it's a
I
quickie?
love that question. I love that question. I love that question. I'm going damn sure going to answer it. Devin answered though. She says, if I'm on that timer or feeling feisty, don't play with me. I
Well,
ain't
that's
mad
every
at
time
you,
I
baby.
fuck. So,
See,
so
Tasha, you
that's
ain't gonna
one
do
thing
right.
don't
You ain't
over
gonna
me
do
about
right. You're not. You're not. You hold on. You're not gonna see. You ain't gonna do right, Devin. I'm scared of you. You're a bad woman. That you have that kind of power. That you can say it that way. That look, I ain't gonna play with you. Let's get this shit cracking. I get that. And Tasha, you talk about that's you all the time. Look, not
that's
everybody
every time.
have it like that. You know. Yo, I ain't mad at y'all. God bless y'all. I ain't mad at y'all. Thank you, Ms. Torres. She said, welcome to the show. Ms. Torres said, hit
Mhm.
that like button, please, and share. Good to have you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, Tasha, you asked a real question, but as I get to some of these comments, Real Estate Inside says, head, stop it. Stop it, Lamar. Lamar
You done
says,
pissed
head
him off.
does nothing for me. And hold on, does nothing for me, LOL. I'm an odd one. Oh my God.
Lamar,
Oh,
you gonna
look.
get blocked. Black does
So
not believe in that. That's blasphemy right there.
that is against all that's holy and sanctimonious. Real Estate Insider. It got this. It starts with head and it ends with head. It got to. It got to. Devin says, "Hey, hey, Toria. Oh my God. Okay, you just threw me for a loop there. So wow. Okay." Real Estate Insights, Devin would hurt my feelings if I know I only got a few minutes. It'll take me forever. That's I'm thinking not, because I'm going on what she's saying. She's saying, look, I ain't gonna play with you. Like, do her things. Devin says timers equal 1 to 2 positions, limited crowd participation, and preferably 10 to 15 minutes at most. That's her timer. Okay, so Tasha, to answer your question, I agree with Devin. It has to be at least 15 minutes. That to me is the minimum amount of time for me. Because, okay, you said waste your time. It's a waste of my time if it's not going to be at least, if it's not going to be at least 15 minutes, what the fuck am I doing? For me, what the fuck am I? Now, keep in mind, it starts with head with me. It starts with head with me. So actually, the better the head, the hornier I get, the more I'm going to want to fuck and the more I'm going to want to perform and show out. Because if the head is good and I do the scratch and sniff test and that pussy it is just on the tart meter and not on the musty or funky meter, then you got yourself something special coming up. But I'm just saying.
Stay on topic. Stay focused. We ain't talking about
No, I'm talking about. I am talking about timers. The Real Estate Insider says many times I've gone without finishing, but I say 30 to 40 minutes. Now, here's when I only finish half the time, and that's because sometimes I cannot come from fucking. I can always come from head. That's why head is so important for me.
That's offensive. Now that's offensive to me. That's when I get offended as a woman. If the man does not finish, that's when I get offended.
No, but you didn't hear the first part. Or is that you still offended? No, I'm saying I know I can come from head, but
still offended.
No. Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out, because I'm hoping you hear me out for real. For real, I can't always come from actual fucking, because if I have on a condom and this happens sometimes without a condom too, but I've had my experiences with STDs. If I have on a condom, I honestly can't feel it. So I have to use an excessive amount of lubrication, you know, and it gets to the point where I'm just performing, I'm just going through the motions. So really, to really say this, I can fuck a long time because honestly, I'm not feeling it. Now, what I'm deriving enjoyment from is the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I can't feel it. So that's what's got me in trouble. It's because sometimes if the shit is going on too long, and I'm thinking, okay, well, damn, you know, I'm not going to be able to nut here. Let me take this condom off and raw dog this pussy so I can get a nut out of it, you know. But then you can run into complications there too if the pussy is bone dry or if the lips is all wallowed out and beat up, and that's a whole nother story. So I'm just saying, I only come 50% of the time, you know, as well. You know, it's just difficult. Real estate, but I also like to take a break and grab a drink.
What? See, offensive. The fuck you mean you need a water break? Offended. What you mean? What you need a
I ain't
break
mad at
for?
you, brother. Look, I'm not mad at that man. I promise you I'm not mad at that man. He says, I mentioned up front that I might not. LOL, Tasha, it's not you, it's me. That's what I say in advance, especially if we're using a condom. Condom sex ain't that. Now, that's in case women look, and that's the God's honest truth. I can't feel it with the condom. It takes something away from it. And again, it's been a long time since I've been in a monogamous, stable relationship where I trust the person enough that I can be raw dogging. He says, that's me. The enjoyment is the reaction. That's the God's honest truth. But why is that offensive though, Tasha? If you to your point, before you answer that, to your point, if that person is performing, they're staying hard, they're actively engaged, and they go on a long time, but they just not coming. Why is that offensive?
I can't get off until you get off. This is gonna sound, when I say I'm a giver, I enjoy giving. I do, but I can't get off until you get off.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a little different. It brings a little context to it. Devin says the real estate insider will need that doll when it comes out. Put him on a waiting list.
Devin, yes, you will. Both of them at the top of the list. Both of them.
My brother. Hey, I'm waiting on the prices to go down. So it is what it is. You know, he's laughing at you, Devin. He said, give it here. No doubt about it. And then this is in with what you said. He says, what? I can't get off until you get off. Tosh, we be looking at each other crazy as hell.
Because it makes me think that there's something,
Tosh,
wrong.
Tosh, I ain't heard that either. I thought you was meaning offensive, like, yeah, that's a little different. That's a little different, baby. That's a little different. And I've had some experiences with some of my partners where they felt it was them, and I really had to explain, it's not you. It really is not you. I just can't feel it. You know what I'm saying? So, wow, that's definitely interesting right there. Let's move on to another reason, folks. What makes a man bad in bed? What do you think about this one, y'all? Doing something he's told not to do.
That part.
How important? Oh, because I was getting ready to go there, Tasha. How important is it to you as women, to ladies watching this, for a man to follow directions? Or is it not better that it be spontaneous? Or am I looking at this thing the wrong way?
It's not about it's not necessarily about following directions. It's something so simple. If I say don't stop, right there, don't move. Oh. I'm almost there. Oh. And then as soon as the words are uttered, you change your pace, or you get too excited, you start going faster, like you change something up. That to me, that's doing something you're told not to do. Or, and we're gonna get real right
Mm,
now. And
yeah.
I don't know why men do this, but in doggy style, when you are behind a woman, stop pulling our ass cheeks apart like that. That shit does not feel good. So don't
I
do that.
oh my God.
Shit like
I
that.
gotta know
That's what I'm talking about.
because now okay, so because you fucking up my go-to move. You know that. You
That do
fucking up
you
my
know you
go-to
can split
move.
y'all be splitting women's cracks doing that. That shit hurts.
No, I ain't talking about grabbing the woman and pulling it apart like I'm trying to rip a watermelon apart, but
That's what
you fucking up my move now.
that's what y'all be
You
doing.
fucking up
That
my
don't feel good to
I agree with
nobody.
Devin. Devin, Tasha, Devin said, Tasha, you might be a nigga. I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna say, what's up, Terrence? Terrence is killing himself laughing at this too. Tasha, you fucking up my move because I don't mind doing any of the other positions, but if I am gonna come, it's more than likely going to be doggy style, and because it adds to all of the elements that's going to allow me to come. Is I'm watching myself fucking, I'm get to see ass and pussy at the same time, and yes, I'm going to part them cheeks. You fucking up my move, ladies. Is she right? Is that something that's hurtful or unwanted?
That
Are you guys
shit
kidding me?
hurt. Yeah, because y'all be getting so into it that you forget that that is still a person and not a doll. Okay, it's still a person. I got
I'm
nerve
a
endings everywhere. Okay.
I'm gonna challenge this one, Tasha, about when it says men not being, because I think this is universal. Just what you described, women do the exact same shit that you said. Oh, do it right there. Stop this out. Y'all do the exact, especially when it comes to head. Women do it. Look, how many times I gotta tell you, you just hit that spot. Stay right there. And even if and when you're fucking, just when you get to that main center of that pussy, now you pushing me back and running. How could I ever get a nut if you keeping me out that pussy? Stop it.
Black.
Yeah.
Stay on. We talking about dick. Okay, stay on topic.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am losing. I'm sorry. Family. I'm sorry. Yes, it's taking me to a place. The real estate is I say also, if I'm getting close and you start getting close after getting yours 5 to 7 times and you said done, it starts all the way over for me. I agree with you 1000%. 1000%. Stacy says, or when you tell them not to pull your hair or choke you.
I've never said that in my life. Please pull my hair and please choke me.
You know what? I had to lean my head to a side because I've never been, Miss Stacy, I've never had anybody tell me, don't pull my hair or don't choke me. It's always been the opposite. You know, one of my other moves, Tasha says stay on track, but you put the towel around the woman's, with the belt with a towel around her neck so you don't leave no marks, and you kind of do the whole choking horse move, but that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, I've never had anybody tell me not to choke them. To be honest with you, that's interesting. Devin says that's the great thing about a monogamous long-term relationship. You learn cues, mannerisms, and can listen better. Tasha, you're right. Stop spreading my ish. Not comfortable at all. Damn, y'all really fucking me up with that one.
Because
Y'all really fucking me up with that one.
Okay, well, let me explain it to you this way. If you go to, if every time you went to wipe your ass, you spread your cheeks as far apart as they go, your crack can fucking, your butt crack, you can crack it. You can split the skin at the top because it's thinner.
But see, you taking it to a whole nother level. Exaggerate. It's a whole different thing between fucking and taking a dump. First of all, and then second of all, ain't no man got no business spreading his cheeks no wider than it takes for shit to come out of it anyway. So
Okay, so
I'm
case in
just
point,
processing
if
that
no
one.
man has that business doing that when they taking the shit and wiping their ass, y'all's dicks are not that big to where you need to be seeing all of that. Okay, you can see just fine. Okay.
I gotta contemplate that one. Y'all really bringing me something. Real estate insights. I've never finished doggy style. Damn, my brother. He says, "LO, I gotta be pressed against you, body to body." He's that romantic side.
Well, you just
See,
do just do doggy style, but your bodies are like against each other. You can still
well,
do it, when you're behind her. Just
no, he not saying he don't do it. He said he never finished that way. So he want to be all brother Lamar. You that Eddie Murphy brother he was talking about where. Oh. You that romantic type, brother. See, look, I need to see. No, I'm gonna stop. We're gonna keep it about dick. We're gonna keep it about men. We're gonna keep it about men. But yeah, I'm just saying. But anyway, real estate says right on, Deb. Hannah, how you doing, sweetheart? We missed y'all as
hang
well.
on.
And then real estate say, yes, I've done that, Tosh. So again, he says
There you
he's
go.
pressed his stuff
Solved it.
against me. That no longer is a viable option for me. Just so you women know, I'm a big fat man with a whole lot of belly. So if I press up against you, neither one of us ain't gonna enjoy that. So that
There's
ain't
some
happening.
women
So
but there are some women that like to feel the full weight of bigger men on them. They do.
I
There
couldn't do
are
that
some
to no
women that
woman.
like
I
that.
could not in good conscience do that to no woman. What's up, Charles? How you doing? What's up, my brother? That I couldn't even in good conscience. Even if she asked me to do that, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Now, if you want to feel my belly, then get on top, bitch, and ride and lay up against me, then you get it. But I'm not pressing myself up against no woman at this stage. No, not doing it. I'm just saying. All right, here's another one, folks. Another reason what makes a man bad in bed, being unimaginative. How important is that to be imaginative in bed, folks?
It is.
Tasha, help us out.
Yeah.
Charles
The
says, "What's
same
up?"
where
The
you
dad bod.
can where you can kind of spice it up. It's no fun if it's like the same 2 or 3 moves like every time, or even
Okay.
the same. Some of them it's like the same amount of strokes each time, and it's like like when you can time it, like when you know what they're gonna do, or exactly
Okay.
like what it's gonna lead to. Like there's no fun in that.
Okay, I can feel you on that. Welcome to the show, Elena. Good to have you. Derek, what's up, D? What's going on, partner? And Miss Elena says, be creative. It is
Hmm.
important. Miss Carolyn says, bingo, very important. So I got a question. Do you think by and large, especially when you consider that we're living in the era of porn, we see it every day, have men become more or less imaginative in bed, considering it's all out there. The content is all out there to be creative. What's been your experience? Do you think we've done a good job at being imaginative?
I think being imaginative gets better with age a little bit. Like there's like
Okay.
a certain period of time to where you're no longer like watching porn or even interested in necessarily like making like amateur videos that you've seen, like yourself. So there is a period of time that I do think that men, are creative, are better lovers, but it comes with time.
Okay. I'm glad to hear you say that, because on a more truly serious note, I would like to think I got better as I got older. Um, so yeah, I would like to think with age and experience, you definitely get a lot better. Charles, my brother, says we need to be nasty and leave all our morals outside of the bedroom.
You can't
I
tell
like the
people to be
sentiment in that,
nasty
Charles.
anymore. No.
Really? You why you say that?
Because some people get, because nasty is subjective. Nasty is some
Okay,
people, like when they enter like certain relationships,
good
like
point.
serious relationships, they no longer want to be nasty. Then it becomes unimaginative. because they did everything before, was willing to do a little bit more with you before, and then you get in that relationship and it's like, what happened to like the imagination?
Very good point. Very good point. And to this point, this is what I like the point that Devin made, that I would hope and I believe that when you're with that same person where the trust is there and that comfort level is there, you can constantly spice it up because you trust that the person you're with, they got you, you're safe, they're not going to give you anything. It's a harder, I think, and I want men to tell me if I'm wrong, to be too imaginative when it's just strange, or if it's just a sneaky link or whatever. There's only so much imaginative I feel like we as men can go because I don't know you like that. I know that sounds kind of fucked up in a way because on the one hand, I'll suck your toes and I'll eat your ass, but I'm not gonna kiss you in the mouth. I know that sounds crazy in a certain way. Then I'm being real serious. We talked about this, but it's harder for me to be too imaginative if I don't trust you. That's just me. Maybe that's just me. Terrence says being imaginative, that's very important. A little creativity in the bedroom can go a long way. Absolutely. And so I think that comes with familiarity. You know, strangers, if I went out and picked somebody up, honestly, Tasha, I'm not going to be that imaginative. So maybe that makes for a worse experience for the woman, because for her, maybe she's looking for this, that, and the other. And I'm only going to do so much because I don't know where she's been completely.
Okay,
Does that
so
make sense?
it makes sense, but that's where I have a question. When you were younger, would you have been a little bit more imaginative? And we can only assume so because your STD history than you are now. You're not willing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's why I
Yes.
said there's
Because
a period of time for men
yeah.
of when that they will be and when it changes again.
Good point. Good point. Okay, so when I think for everybody, men, probably men and women, aren't you a little more reckless? Well, I don't know if it's for women. I'm gonna ask then. I know for men, I believe I can say this for the men, there's a tendency to be a little bit more reckless, not just even with sex, just in general when you're young. We drive fast, we stay up, we don't need as much sleep, we drink, we do shit, we take chances and risks when we're younger that now you tend to think about when you get older. Is it the same for women? Are women less or more imaginative when it comes to sex as they age?
Yes, we are. I would say women, we are more imaginative as we get older with sex. I do.
Okay. That's a good thing to know too. Welcome, Tracy. Tracy's joining us from Dubai. Man, thanks for blessing us. Appreciate that. And Tasha, thanks for sharing that point. And while I read a couple of comments, I want you to tell me why, though. Why do you think as women age, you become more imaginative? Because think about what you just said. If I'm young and I'm reckless and imaginative, but you're less imaginative when you're young, that's kind of a lopsided match in some ways. And that may be telling a story that we don't talk about enough. But I want you to answer that in a second. The real estate insider says if you get too imaginative, she'll think you're cheating by coming home with new moves. Ooh, that's an interesting take right there. Wow. But you know what, real estate insider? I think that could go both ways. If I was with a woman that we've kind of done something the same way, and all of a sudden she shows up in the bedroom with some real new moves and shit, maybe I'm wondering where the fuck you learned that from? You know, you ain't been doing it that way. Devin says porn does not teach creativity. That's not realistic or pleasurable. It's usually male focused. I agree with you 1,000%. And Sister D, it took me getting older though to appreciate that, to be honest with you. Again, with age comes wisdom. When I was younger, I did think that, oh my God, look at what they're doing. That's pretty creative. When you see the guy and the woman twisted backwards and his dick doing this, that, and the other. And there was a time when I was younger where you tried all of that shit. You do the Superman move and, look at yourself in the mirror. But as you get older, you find out that shit is just not realistic. Miss Elena says, no, bring imagination, because you learn your partner. Porn can be dark and push the envelope if it crosses boundaries. Absolutely. Tasha, answer that question for me.
Why?
Yeah.
So
Why, as women age, you become more imaginative, when I think for men, we're more reckless when we're young, and we're more when we have that period, like you said. What do you think?
It's actually it's simple, because as women, you first starting out, you don't really know too much. I think for a lot of men, because they may have started, masturbating, learning how to achieve an orgasm, at a younger age, it's easier for them. But as women, a lot of women still are unable to achieve an orgasm, just from just from being penetrated. So it takes a lot longer to learn that. So by the time that you are starting to learn that, you're willing to ask for what you want, demand what you want,
I love
and
that.
because you know how to please yourself. So
I love that. Makes complete and total sense. Fellas, I hope you're listening. If you ain't learning some shit, I certainly am, or learning to appreciate it in a different way. Charles says you need to have a discussion about do's and don'ts. Got to have complete trust with that person. Absolutely. And to this point, Charles, I think that comes with age and comfort, because again, I'm not having that conversation necessarily with somebody who's just a jump off. If I don't care to even know the bitch's name, and I say bitch with love, you guys, but if I don't really care to know her name, we're not even going that deep into it. Elena says, what you're comfortable with as a woman, and be verbal about it with your partner, and trust is the key. Absolutely. I think at the core of all of this, we can say that trust is paramount. Very true, Lee. If we just fucking, it's going to be basic. In a relationship, I'm more open. Absolutely. Elena says, yes, I believe as we get older. So Tasha, you're nailing it. Miss Carolyn, I want to get everybody's comments in here. She says, you have to be spontaneous. That adds spice to a relationship, no doubt about it. Stacey says, being imaginative with role playing and talking dirty. Again, I feel safe doing that if I'm in a monogamous, safe relationship. And that's what I miss the most about being in a relationship with somebody, because you got a chance to explore all of that. And that's why sex is just right now, it's functional, because I'm not in a relationship. It's something I may have to do here and there, but I miss that. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for, just as I'm going through like some of the comments, and and of course, like for you, I know, of course, like the comfort level that you reach and obtain, like in a relationship as far as sex. But even, is it just me, or are there things that you would be willing to do with someone that you're not in a relationship with? Because who cares? That you would be, if they don't really know you, you're not really trying to build anything with them. So, maybe it is something that you wanted to try. Like, you wouldn't be comfortable to like do that more like with a stranger that may not ever be able to recall you, but would you not be more willing to do that? Is this me?
For me, that's situational. For me, that's completely situational. You take the trip that I just went on.
Mm-hmm.
The psychology there for me would have been, I'm in town for one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to see you again. I'm on vacation. So that's when I might be willing to push the envelope and do whatever. And that's when I'll gamble a little bit more. And it's sad to say, but that's when you do come home and now you're living in fear. I'm talking about me. Now that fear is that, oh shit, whew, I did some things that I normally wouldn't do, but in my normal everyday life around here, for me, not at this stage, no, Tasha, because again, the real world of it for me is that if I'm not in a relationship with you, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. Sex is just a means to an end in that moment. It's just functional. I might just need a nut to get the monkey off my back. So
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not going to do all of those. I'm not. I'm just not. You know, in fact, I'm being careful as I watch even what's going on. So to this point of being unimaginative in bed, yeah, I could see where this is a big one. I could see
Yeah.
where a woman would leave here thinking, well, he's pretty cut and dry. He didn't really hardly do anything. I'm just explaining the reasons why. I fucking don't know you like that. I don't trust you
Mm-hmm.
like that. I met you at Walmart. And so you're in here and we're gonna do something and we just spend it smoking a blunt and shit, but that's about as risky as I'm gonna get with your musty ass, you know, because I don't know you like that. And I ain't gonna be doing too much shit with you at this stage. So no, not at this point. Charles says the younger me would tell my woman, don't bring no damn toys in the bedroom. The older me is like, bring all the toys. I feel you. I feel you, my brother. You know, now I have a thing about toys. I can't stand when a woman playing a pussy too much, but that's a whole nother conversation. Devin says, the more I trust you, the more open-minded I am. We also learn what we like and what we are capable of. Absolutely. And I do miss that. Stacey says, women get more imaginative from experience and maturity. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love that. Real Estate Insider has a few comments. He says, I tend to be more experimental with the fling. Ooh, he says, slut him out. Ooh, I'm scared of you, partner. I'm scared of you.
Yeah.
He says, I'm more experimental with a fling. I'm the exact opposite, my brother. I them experimental days, yeah, I'm scared now. I'm afraid cat now. Stacey says, you have to be careful trying things with strangers. You can turn him into a possessive stalker. Wow. Wow. So you talking about the power of which, baby, I ain't mad at you. Do your thing, you know. If you got it like that he gonna be hunting you down in the daylight with a flashlight. I'm scared. I'm scared of you now. I'm scared of you. And speaking of how good that thing is, here is another reason that was on the top of the list of why a man is bad in bed. Women said that a man can become too reliant on his stick to do all the work.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
you know I got to ask. You know I got to go here. So this is a little, in some ways, this is a little hypocritical. Because if you're telling me, and I'm asking, but I'm just saying, if you're telling me as a woman that size matters and you want a big one, and they did a poll recently, and that's what women said, you know, they would rather have a big one. And you see all this shit all the time. So if the man has got a nice weapon, how is this how does this make him bad in bed? I just want to hear. How does this
Well,
make a man bad in bed if he's relying on that magnificent magic stick to take you to La La Land?
well, I didn't say that. I wasn't a part of that poll. Matter of fact, send me the link so I can take that fucking survey. Because that's where I was gonna go with it. Is for men, it does not. For me, and there are a set of women that would agree with me. Just because you have a big dick does not mean you know what you're doing with it. And also, just for the men, just because you may have a smaller dick does not mean that it's necessarily going to be bad. But you have to know that that's not all it is. You got hands, you got a mouth. Use everything. It's not just about pounding. Okay, I don't give a fuck what that bitch said about Pound Town. It's not just about pounding. Okay, there's other things that you can be doing. There's other parts of a woman's body that you can use to engage and be in the moment with her. Do not just think that just because you have a nice sized dick that's gonna be it. No.
I love everything you said, and Miss Stacy agrees with you clearly. She says just because it's big doesn't mean he knows how to use it. Here's where I'm going to throw a red flag in there on this one, though. This is where I think some of the miscommunication come in, though. As a man, will we get to that place where we can show a woman what we can do if we don't have a big dick, or if that first experience isn't necessarily the best experience? Because I've always felt as a man that we don't have the same luxury that a woman has. I've always felt as a man on stage, any sexual encounter, I feel like a man, we have limited time to show all of our tricks. So, Tasha, when you say we've got hands, we've got our mouth, we've got this, that, and the other, you don't always get that opportunity, I don't feel, as a man to showcase that. Because if you got somebody and you drop your drawers and you don't meet their size standard, you may not get the chance to show that I am talented. Yeah, I might not be as big as you're used to or what you were expecting, but I can show you what I can do. And so I think hearing that sounds great. I don't necessarily know, though, how realistic that is for a man, because I feel like we're always auditioning for the next performance. And I've talked about having a bad dick report out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing that I love everything you said, and that truly makes sense. But I don't necessarily know if, especially in today's sexual and charged environment, with everything we've been talking about, that women know exactly what they want. They know their bodies now better than ever before. They verbalize it. They're more imaginative, creative. So am I as a man going to get to showcase that if the stick doesn't even measure up by looks? Because size is so important to, I think, a lot of them.
I would push back with this. If in the event, because again, it's not all, it's some, and
Right.
that's what we're going with. In the event that you are in front of a woman, and let's say she does, as soon as you undress, she makes mention of your size or what have you, like she brings that up. If she doesn't go through with fucking you, okay, fine, that's her loss, whatever. But if she still if she still goes through with it, why not do a little bit more? Why not try to put forth a little bit more of an effort, just in the event that you don't get the chance to again?
No, I'm agreeing with you on that. And that's why I said I've always felt like I'm on stage. But that's me. That's the
Mm-hmm.
way I perceive it. That's why I never wanted a bad dick report out there. And that's why I've always felt like we've been at a disadvantage, because I can show all my tricks. My mindset is like this going into it, that I can't tell her I don't eat pussy, I don't do this, and I don't do that, because I might not get a second chance. And again,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm getting ready to have sex with her, I'm clearly attracted to her. So I've always felt like I've got to go overboard a little bit to ensure that when she forget about the ooh, the ahs, this, that, and the other, that in a clear line of day, that when all of the oohs and ahs go down, I have to this is what I felt like, I have to kind of feel like she's going to say, you know what, I would fuck with him again
Mm-hmm.
because, he did this, that, and the other. Where I think we're not talking about women, but I think women don't always have to put out their best work, where I think I've always felt like I had to. So I agree with you. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't give it to me, I agree with you 1,000%. That's my mindset. Now, I don't think every guy thinks that, though. I don't think they go into it with that mindset, to the point of this one right here. I think if a guy's going into it and he know I got a big dick, for a lot of guys, they probably do think, huh, you know what I'm saying? You better be
Mm-hmm.
glad that I'm blessing you. And, and you can't take all the dick anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I love what you ladies are saying, that you still have to know how to use it. So I'm feeling this one. But, Devin says, I'm like a bop it toy, multitask or I'm bored. That's grown woman right there. That's grown woman talk right there. Now, I'm glad she said that. And that's why I'm saying that's grown woman talk. Whew. Again, I want to keep diverting away from my own experience. Let me just say it this way. For a lot of women, having a big dick is enough. You know. Now, Stacy says looks can be deceiving.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you don't assume. I feel you. I feel you. You know. Yeah, but you know, some of these reasons I mean they're logical and they're realistic. I can't, in the interest of time, I'm just, you know, so you know, folks, there's 21 things on this list. I'm skipping over some of them in the interest of time, but I had to get to one of them that I know is all important to me. All important to me. I'm curious as to how important this is to women in terms of a man being bad in bed. Bad hygiene. And I cannot leave this conversation without stopping on this one because I want to ask a question. I firmly believe that our standards, I mean, human standards, have plummeted when it comes to general hygiene. Forget sex, just general hygiene. I think a big part of what COVID exposed was just how nasty people are. How often people don't do simple things like wash their hands. Fuck, after just being around all day, there are people out there, men and women, mind you now, that don't wash their hands after taking a dump. And so I talked about this for a long time, that I just don't see people taking care of their hygiene at the same level that they used to. And I've said this at this stage of my life, I'm 55 years old. The sexiest thing you can do for me is be clean. All that other shit is window dressing. The sexiest thing you can do for me is be clean. For you, Tasha,
Mm-hmm.
has this ever been an issue where the sex was bad due to hygiene? If so, true or not? But also, how important do you think this one is now? And now I want you to go not just for you. The first one is for you,
Mm-hmm.
personal experience. But I'm asking you ladies watching this episode, how important is hygiene at this stage? Is it just me putting way too much attention on it? Because now we're being told that we bathe too often and a woman shouldn't have to put on a Kotex anymore. Is it just me? So the first one's for you, Tasha. Personal experience. Have you ever been in a situation where the sex was bad because of hygiene? And the second part is, am I making too much of fucking hygiene?
You're Yes, I have been in a situation where the sex was bad because of hygiene. For me, I'm a kisser. We cannot have sex if we ain't kissing. We cannot.
Wow. Wow.
That
Okay.
okay, because that's just weird. Okay, then I feel like a prostitute. So that's just weird to me. I can't do it. Like but yes, the sex for me, I've had experiences where the sex is bad because of the hygiene. It is still very important for women when being with men. The hygiene is still very important, especially now with the influx of us, the throat goats, we'll just call them that. With the influx of more women doing all of the tricks with their throat, if a man's dick doesn't smell good, if it's excessive amounts of hair down there. Like, don't nobody want to be fooling with that. So yes, it's this can
Woo.
yes.
I put this on the souls of my two brothers. I put this on the souls of my two brothers, ladies watching this show. I can't tell you how many countless times I've been asked to not shower before they suck my dick. I can't tell you how many times I've been explicitly told, why don't you work out and work around the house? I want it musty. I want your dick rank. I want your dick and balls rank. I'm not making this up, folks. I'm not making this up. Carol says, Lord, that's a real turn off for both parties.
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely talking about hygiene being important. The real estate says, do women still fancy fingers? What's oh, fingers? Oh, I'm assuming he's talking about fingers.
Yes, bring back fingering in 2023, please. Okay.
Yeah. Elena says, I agree. Derek says, absolutely not. Hygiene is 100% important. And that's what I know for me. It's the most important thing at this stage. That for me is overlooks. Hygiene is the sexiest thing for me. Devin, his reaction is to what I'm saying. Now, Devin, just so you know, baby, your boy don't honor that request. I don't play them games. I'm already fat. The last thing I'm gonna be is stink. You can't be fucking fat and stink. Those two don't go together. I'm already a fat man. I take a tremendous amount of pride in my hygiene, and I'm not gonna put oils and cologne on top of funk. So this fat man right here does not honor those requests because I think it's disgusting, but I get asked that quite a bit, and which makes me believe that hygiene is just not that important. Devin says, bad hygiene is a complete turn off. I don't even want to touch you if you're nasty. I even installed a bidet in my bathroom. Freshness is a must breed. Oh, Tasha turned me on to that, and so that's probably one of my next purchases is for me to get me a bidet as well. I got a pretty big ass. I need it clean, but that's a whole...
That's another topic. We're not.
I'm just saying. Carol says, don't bring your stank ass over here trying to get some if you musty.
Exactly.
I wish I had some younger women here because I don't know if it's the same. Devin said they may have E. coli in their mouth. Devin, you're right. And that was the thing, that when I got that request, I can't fuck with that person because number one, I'm not stupid enough to think that if you're asking me that I'm the only person you're asking that of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you that, and then a few of those times I had chlamydia, I'm not necessarily sure I got it from their pussy. It probably was from the head, just to be honest with you, but anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But Stacy says, I can't. You have to get in the shower before you come over. If you drop your pants and it smells, I can't do it. That's a turnoff. I'm loving this, but I just had to see. We're going to take one more, in the interest of time. Again, there were 21 of these, folks. So fellas, there's a lot of reasons out there that women, it was a poll that they said there was a lot of reasons why they said made us bad in bed. The real estate insider says, I prefer a bit of fuzz on the cat, a bush perhaps, as long as it don't stink. Wow. We are so different, my brother. I can't stand the musty hairs. Hairs hold odor. If you're gonna have hair down there, at least have it trimmed up and everything. And okay, Tasha said, stay on track.
Yeah, we ain't talking about pussy.
She said, stay on track. Last one I want to cover. This one I think is certainly one that I could see where women would consider men being bad in bed. Elena says, wash up and no body odor. Self-care, hygiene is important. Absolutely, sweetheart. Last one we'll take as far as what makes a man bad in bed. A hard stop when we're done. And I wanted to get this one in because a hard stop when we're done. And you notice I put a slash behind that, no foreplay. Mm-hmm. And I brought that up because not all women like foreplay. Sometimes women want to just get to it. And then a hard stop when we're done. When we're done, ain't we done? What fucking more do you want to happen, after we're done? Help me out. Help me out, Tasha. Help me out.
Wait a minute. Hold on. A hard stop. Because I've told you this before. A hard stop when they're done, like jumping up immediately as soon as you nut. Like as soon as you nut, you might. If a man goes to jump up immediately to leave, or to go to the bathroom, immediately starts getting dressed to leave, Like, where the fuck is the fire?
Okay, what about not to leave, but to go wash up? Because that's me.
No, okay, even to wash up.
Whoa,
Let's
whoa,
say you
whoa.
go, even if you jump up immediately to go
Immediately.
wash up, like
Right?
30, 10, 15 seconds after you nut, you immediately go jump up to, you come back in the room. You could still be like, and for the woman, you could still be in post nut bliss, and here he is putting on clothes, kind of making it feel like a hurry kind of thing, like he couldn't wait to get you off of him, kind of deal. That's the way I see it.
Okay, I get you. I get you if that was is okay. So for me, I'm not talking about coming in and immediately getting dressed, but I definitely am cleaning myself up and I don't want to lay in the wet spot. And I am kind of okay. Again, we're done. If you got your shit and I got my shit, and now I'm nutted, I don't want to lay there with the shit rolling down my thighs and on the side of the beds, and we just gonna lay there and talk about it for a while. And if anything, I hope you're beating me to the bathroom. I'm really more attracted to a woman if I just came and if it's an instance where I'm busting, especially on her or in her, I hope she's going to clean up. That's giving me a chance now to wipe myself up, to kind of straighten the bed. You telling me that's a turn off?
To me, it is, because again,
Wow.
it's like you can't wait to like create space between us. Like, shit, yeah, you still lightheaded and you run into the bathroom. What the fuck did I do? Like, what happened?
I'm glad you're telling me this, because it wasn't never that. That's not my thinking
Yeah,
anymore.
and again, this could just be me, because that's the way that I see it. It's like,
Gotcha.
I'm still breathing hard. Why the fuck you running? What happened? What'd you see? What happened?
Let me read a few comments, because this is a strange one to me. This is very strange to me. Elena says, I remember one of my friends saying a guy she had smelled like basement mildew.
Oh my God, that's so specific, but I can smell it.
I never laughed so hard. She put him out. You know what we call that, Miss Elena? That's when a motherfucker smell like poverty and hopelessness.
An impression.
And oppression. That's how you describe that. That's a whole other thing. Stacy says, if they immediately jump up and leave, they're married or not into you. No,
Yeah,
ladies,
Stacy,
no.
tell him.
That's
Tell
not
him.
no. But
Tell him.
that's why I'm listening. But no, it's not. It wasn't that. It's not that. Elena says your health is your wealth. Hygiene is extremely important, and no, you're not making too much of it. Thank you, sweetheart. But no, Devin. That's why this is a strange one to me that y'all women even feel this way. But Devin says I immediately run to shower and prepare for bed. Cuddling is optional and up to him.
Mm-mm. I'm
Lady
offended.
Lady D. Elena says, brush your teeth, gargle with mouthwash, manscape, clean nails. Elena's still on this hygiene. She said, Elena is not playing with the hygiene. Elena said, yuck. And Stacy says, I agree, Lee. Clean yourself. A lot of women are sensitive and want to cuddle afterwards. So that's what, seriously, and that's why, I promise you, I'm hearing what you're saying, McMack,
Mm-hmm.
and for anybody think that way. No. Keep in mind who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
If we've made it to that stage where we're having sex, and especially if we're in my bedroom, I ain't talking about just a knockdown here in the living room where I got a cover and you on your knees. That's different. I'm just nutting on your back, and I don't give a fuck what you do with the cum at that point. But I'm still cleaning myself up. I'm not talking about that experience.
No, I'm not, and this
I'm
is
not
my thing.
talking about that experience.
I'm not even talking about cuddling. The way that I see it is, how good could it have been? How satisfied could you really have been if you got that much energy to be up and running just that quick?
Wow. That's crazy to me, because again,
That's the way I see
Tasha,
it.
I could have had the greatest experience, and I mean been turned on, but soon as I'm coming, I'm going to clean up. Now I'm in the bathroom, probably like, oh my God, that shit was good. I want even some more to real estate insiders point. I'm going to get ready for round 2, round 3, but I gotta clean myself up if I just came.
Nope, get out of my house. Get out
That's
of
just
my
fucked up.
house. You running. Get out. Since you
That's
want to run your ass out the front door. Get out of my house.
folks, folks. That is a great place to end this show because you know what it says. There will always be that mystery. I'm speaking as a man
Mhm.
now. Ladies, I love y'all. I don't understand y'all. And the older I get, it's becoming more crystallized that I got a lot to learn. Even at this age, I have a lot to learn. But you know, the beauty of it is this is where conversation, communication is truly important because, oh my God, to think that I could have been offending women maybe somewhere in the past when that was
Mhm.
not the case. You know, Tracy, thanks for popping in, sweetheart. Have a good evening. And so, yeah, look, there were others on the list, but I wanted to do this, especially in light of Sunday. Don't forget, the clock goes back. We're gonna
Mhm.
have extra hour to sleep. It's getting cold outside, so some of us have somebody, some of us don't. Some of us are hoping to get somebody. This is as educational for me as you guys would know. I don't take this conversation and these conversations for granted. This is the kind of thing that'll swirl around in my head for the next few days to try to be better if and when I'm in a relationship ever again. So I thank you guys for giving me all that input. All of you, the men and the women, thank you so much. This was just a good conversation for me to take with me. Stacy says, Tasha, you're saying he has to be tired. So why are you jumping up so fast with so much energy? I must not have did my job.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Why are you running? What happened?
It is not that. That is not that. It is not that. For me,
Mhm.
it really is just a hygiene thing. It really and truly is. I promise you. So for anybody out there that's ever been with me, that was not it. If we made it to that point, it's just me honestly being clean. Just And again, we might do round 2 or whatever. So it wasn't that because my God. But anyway, fellas, we got to do better. We got. Here's the beauty of this conversation too.
Mm.
It can only make us better men. We can. Lord knows we heard this on Monday's show. Women don't need us, and that's the God's painful, awful truth. That they
Mm.
still want us is very, very special. And so, if somebody wants you and invites you to their bed, and we talking about sex real here, you owe it to them to try to do your best work. I will say that.
Yeah, and don't be
Whatever that
running.
looks like. That's so Tasha said don't be running.
And don't be
So,
running. Okay,
you
what's the
know,
hurry?
and to her point, when in Rome. So sometimes, fellas, we might have to alter our own plans, inhibitions to be better at what we do. The whole
Mhm.
goal is to please that person, and that's the God's honest truth. So I am wise enough at this stage of my life to tell you what I ain't gonna do because I'm not that dogmatic in my approach. I have to look at some things differently and be more aware of how it can be perceived. Let me just say it that way, because sometimes there's more than one way to skin a cat. So, yeah, you guys have given me a lot of food for thought. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. Tasha, do you want to add anything before we close out?
Mm-mm. If you're gonna do it well. Enjoy yourself.
Yes,
And
indeed.
do it 3 times for me. So there you go.
What did Devin say? I told y'all from the beginning, Tasha is like a dude. Tasha is like a dude, just so you know. Stacey says, in reality, women do need you all lead to a certain degree. I thank you for saying that,
Mhm.
and I agree with you, but we had a conversation at the end of our show on Monday, and I meant it in the existential sense that they don't need us, but yeah, I do think we need each other. you know, in a real way, you know. So, and that was the point I was making. But in the context of sex, they're replacements. They're, you know, just like I'm waiting on that artificial doll to come down on price. Women got the roles. They got different versions of this, that, and the other that can get them to where they need to be. So they don't need us, but they still want us. And I'm glad we're still in a place where no matter how many roses, the technology, that I hope that if you trust us to be there, to Tasha's point, if we're going to do it, fellas, do it well. On that note, we're on the other side of Wednesday. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for joining me and Tasha for another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. As always, be good to each other, be good to yourself even more. And yes, toys can never replace a man. Thank you, Miss Stacy. So peace and love. And as always, keep it real. Everybody have a great rest of your week.